started.
Okay.
So just look at me, you don't have to
Okay.
look at either of the cameras.
All right.
If you do happen to, the world's not gonna end.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is, I'll ask a question, and if you feel like it's in line with the message that you're trying to convey, then I'll have you elaborate on it.
Okay.
If not, then just, we can rephrase the question, or we can ask a different question, or you can simply say what the question
Okay.
would be that you would want to answer,
Right. Okay.
and then answer from that, okay?
Okay.
So, I think initially, why don't you introduce yourself and give a little bit of a background on, you know, how you ended up where you are now.
Okay.
You can talk about, I wouldn't go too deep into school. I would just talk more about, from a business standpoint, how you came about to being here. So just
Okay.
introduce yourself and give just a quick, you know, maybe like 2-minute bio on how you got here.
Okay. My name is Geoffrey Kent. I'm the CEO of Cognis IT Advisors. I'm in the process of writing my first book, which will tentatively be titled A Business Owner's Guide to Eliminating Poverty. How I got to this point is I'm a military brat. I have a mother and father who are engineers from Tuskegee Institute in the early 1950s. Very big proponents of education, and so you know, I got the opportunity through being a military brat to live all over the world, 4 continents, 10 of the 50 states in the U.S.
So I'm gonna stop you right there.
Sure.
So I want you to start over and be mindful of how many times you say
Okay.
And so if you're pausing in between sentences, or you're pausing in a sentence, just go ahead and pause. But just think about, like, start to listen for you saying the word And you don't have to completely eliminate it, but we want to reduce it. So it's okay to pause, but let the pause be silent.
Okay.
Okay, so start from the top.
My name is Geoffrey Kent. I'm the CEO of Cognis IT Advisors.
I won't do this exercise with you, but we had a client where we were filming, and he would speak too quickly.
Yeah.
And so what Raul was doing was he would throw a pen at him every single time.
Right.
And he'd start to notice when he was about to start speeding up,
Right.
and he'd like flinch a little.
Yeah.
I was like, you're gonna give this poor guy PTSD. Just having, like, he's like flinching, like, oh, but it worked. So I'm not gonna throw a pen at you. And just think, it doesn't have to be, perfect. It doesn't have to be, you can't say at all.
Okay.
I just want you to be more mindful of it, okay?
My name is Geoffrey Kent. I'm the CEO of Cognis IT Advisors. Oh man, sorry about that.
You're totally fine, This is, I knew that we were gonna, like, the first little bit is gonna be us just getting acclimated, understanding, you know, how we're gonna work together and how this is gonna flow, what's gonna feel the best for you, most
Yeah.
comfortable for
Yeah.
you. So,
Well, I should have practiced with my daughter. My daughter's a junior in college, but she's studying acting in New York City, so I should have worked with her because I'm sure she does this all the time. My name is Geoffrey Kent. I'm the CEO of Cognis IT Advisors. I'm a military brat. My parents attended the Tuskegee Institute in the very early 1950s. They were both engineers. Through that lifestyle, I was afforded the opportunity to live in 4 continents and 10 of the 50 states. I also had an uncle who was an entrepreneur. He was the only entrepreneur in the family. Didn't really spend a lot of time around him, but I think the experience of having someone in the family who was an entrepreneur obviously impacted me greatly. And I must have been observing everything he was doing. So fast forward, I attended the University of Oklahoma as an undergraduate, majored in marketing. Started my work career with Xerox, and went to AT&T 11 years into my career. Decided to go back to school, came to the University of Pennsylvania, the Wharton School of Business. Actually majored in entrepreneurship before it was popular, and then decided to join, actually initially managed a professional basketball player's portfolio for a couple of years, Dr. J, Julius Irving. From there, I joined Deloitte Consulting in Philadelphia, spent a significant amount of time at Deloitte, and then decided, while I'd been an entrepreneur kind of on a part-time basis throughout most of my career. I'd actually started my first business at about 12 years old. I decided, that at this point in my career it was time to become an entrepreneur full-time. So I quit corporate America and decided to start an information technology company. And I came about the opportunity through something I've always loved to do, which is mentoring entrepreneurs. I actually got a young entrepreneur that, or actually he wasn't an entrepreneur at the time, but a young person that I had hired into a client years earlier, stayed in touch with me and reached out and asked if I would help write the business plan for a company, an idea he and his brother-in-law had. And it was for an information technology support service company. That business plan ultimately became Cognus IT Advisors. And after spending about a year writing the business plan, they realized that no one would take them seriously in Philadelphia. This isn't, or at least at the time, it was not a technology-centric city. It wasn't the Silicon Valley. They were very young and wanted someone with gray hair to kind of run the entity. So they asked me to acquire equity in the company, run the company, which I did. We started and grew incredibly fast. 6 years later, we had accomplished pretty much everything that I wanted to accomplish, and I sold the assets of the business to my co-founders. This is now 6 years that I retained the company, the assets of the company, or not the assets, I retained the name of the company, and decided to get back into management consulting, but instead of doing the type of work I was doing at Deloitte, which was turnaround management consulting or helping companies get out of crisis, I decided that I wanted to follow my passion, which is working with entrepreneurs. And so I decided to become a performance improvement consultant and work with entrepreneurs who wanted to figure out how do you rapidly scale the growth of a brand new entity, but really didn't know how to go about doing that. That's what I did with my own company, so I figured I could just show people how to do what I had done. And that's really what I do now. I've been overwhelmed with the amount of interest in what I do, which is why I've decided to write a book about what I do. I've also been told that I should write a book. People have been telling me this for decades because of, I guess, how I authentically, approach entrepreneurship and dealing with entrepreneurs, and also how I write and my ability to be able to write and make very complex topics very simplistic. So that's how I got to where I am now.
In a nutshell. Great. So I'm going to do just a little bit.
I'm sure that was a lot longer than 2 minutes, but
It's exactly what it needs to be. This table just a little bit further. Just scoot up. This way. It's like I will just rearrange.
okay,
the whole
yeah, not a problem.
Nice and Self-centered. That was great.
Okay, thank you.
The passion and the excitement that you feel, you know, when you're talking about this stuff is very, very, very translatable.
Okay,
Yeah.
glad to hear that.
Yeah, well, the thing is that your goal is ultimately to help people.
Right.
You know, and everything that you've learned, you want to be able to share that. You want other people to benefit from it because you yourself have benefited.
Yep.
And you've seen how when other companies or other people utilize these tools, that they also benefit too.
Right.
You know.
But it's hard when you're the person trying to do this. It's always hard to. I'll get asked the question, "How do you do what you do?" You know, and I always tell people, I'm not sure how I answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
I say because for me it's innate. I just do what I do. I don't think about what I'm doing. I just do it, and I think because I just do it, I make it look so easy. People assume it's easy to do, but then when they try to do it, realize how difficult it is, and then they're like, well, how do you do that? You know, it's like, I don't think about it, I just do it. Everybody's blessed with certain skills. I have certain skills that God blessed me with. It took me a long time to figure out what those skills were, but now I apply those skills, but I don't think about what I do on a daily basis. I just do what I love to do. And so again, when I talk to people, I hear, you know, what they like about me is this authenticity. I hear that word a lot.